Hi, I'm Carla Celis from IMT10B. This is for our integrative 3 lessons. Our teacher is Eduardo Padilla Garcia. I'm working with...
I am Alan Leonardo Aranda Rodriguez.
Hi, my name is Liliana Susana Martinez Aguilar.
My name is Gustavo Alfonso Cardano Ortega.
And we are going to explain our temperature of learning commons project. So let's see.
In chapter 1 we have our proposal. That is the most important, so I will read it. First of all, we are solving the problem of exposing a person, so we are developing a project where we automate the system of opening the door, checking the temperature, and giving sanitizer. As we are doing everything as a simulation, we are going to use some softwares to develop each part. So we are developing our front end so it works. In this case, we will make a navigate of learning commons. For the second part of our project, we are going to use Proteus because it is a really good program where we can program and at the same time we can simulate what we are doing. Here, we will use to program the door, the alarm, and the dispenser. We can also measure the temperature in this program, so we are also adding a temperature taken. For the part of the message, we are using also Proteus, so it has to work as the following. When the temperature is higher than 38, an alarm will be activated, and it will also send an alert message to the coordinator.
Today I'm going to show and explain the schedule that we were following during the process of this integrative project. So let's see. Well, in this part, how we can see, we have the project schedule, and well, first we have all the dates on this side, and in this part we have the objectives, and here we have what lesson each of the activities belongs to. First of all, we have the proposal, then we continue with the cover, the problem, theoretical framework, the design, the project design, the simulation, the programming, and finally the final details. We can see we have 3 lessons. Well, in this part we have the dates, how I already say, and that's it for this part of the schedule, project schedule.
So first of all, I will start by explaining my SketchUp design. This is the front of the Learning Commons building. This is the main door, the one that we are going to be working with. So let me show you the side view. This is the view. This is where the places where you can work. And we have here the back view. Here, right here. And side view also. Here we have color control, and this is the design that I made in SketchUp. We also have the signal, that is where here they put UTR and the specification where the activities that are done in the building. So this is the building that we are working with in our project.
Well, with the SolidWorks simulation, we create 6 parts, and the first 5 were the parts, and the sixth one is the assemble. So the first one piece is the wall. The first one is the wall, and the second one were the lines, the lines. The third one, the little wheels, and the fourth one is the little supports. These supports is placed in the doors, and the last one is the little doors. Okay, so just we create the assemble, as we can see in the moment. We create this like this with this movement. Okay, the doors with a little support, and the wheels can move. And after just we create the animations like we can see here. It's like this. Okay, so that's it for the simulation SolidWorks part, and continue with the next.
In this occasion, I'm going to explain the programming or programmation that we use for the project. And then in this part, you can see my device that I use. I use a microcontroller 18F4550, and these are the fuses, and these are the pins that I use for the circuit. And then you can see the variables that I use to create a code to the programming. And then in this part, this is the one condition that showing an LCD screen. This condition is showing the screen that the sentence that is reading. In this case, the code is read this word, welcome user. And then this other condition that clean the screen. A mistake, sorry. And then these are all other conditions that I use for my code. In this condition, I show in the screen that the temperature that the sensor detect. These are the variables that I use for the sensor read the temperature. And these others are also conditions that show in the screen. For example, in this condition, the screen show the temperature is good. In order that the door is opening. These are other conditions that create movement of the motors that I put in the circuit. These are all other conditions that show a word. In this case, show the please enter, the other closing door, and then in this condition, also like the other, is for activate the motors that depending is the temperature is good, the motors is open and simulate that open the door, and also see if the sensor detect that the temperature is bad, the motors don't move. And these are conditions that check the temperature standards are being met. And also, this is other condition that show a message that the temperature is not good. And this is other that you are not allowed to pass. And when in the LCD detect this message, or the motors detect a bad temperature and is turned off. And then I show you my simulation. This is welcome user. This reading the temperature. Detect the temperature is 37 and open the door. And then when the sensor detect that is 38 the temperature, the motor are need to stop for the person don't pass. And then I change the temperature, a new temperature reading. The temperature is 38 and the motor don't move. And also start this alarm, like alarm, and then watch the other temperature 35, 36, and the motor is movement for simulate that the door is opening and the turn off the LED. And this is all for me. Thank you for your attention.
This is about the physical implementation that we did. So first of all, we have our cover. Next, we are going to see the material that we use and how everything finished. This is the simulation that we did of the building. This is the connection that we made and how our system finished. This is the building and this is the system. This is the thermometer that we simulate. Next, we are going to see the implementation. So first of all, I have to explain here. We are going to simulate the temperature with our hands because this sensor is very sensitive. So we are going to touch it and it will measure the 36 degrees or 37. And when it measures the degrees, the open is going to be open, like here. And next, when the person passes through the door is going to close. And last, we are going to simulate the 38 degrees with our fingers. So we are going to warm up a little bit and we are going to touch the temperature sensor. So when we touch the temperature sensor, as we don't have the right temperature, the red LED that is between the temperature taker is going to turn on and it indicates that we don't have the right temperature and the doors of the building are not going to open.
Well, as a general conclusion, it is possible to say that this project was really interesting because we could learn many things that will be useful in the industry. I mean, at least it will give us an idea of what is to work in teams, for example. With this project we challenge all our previous skills like programming, design, and construct a project. This was very helpful to all of us to put into practice all our previous knowledge.